The endless darkness of space stretched out beyond the crystal walls of the mighty stellar palace. Countless stars twinkled like diamonds scattered across black velvet, their light filtering through the transparent crystalline structure to cast dancing patterns across the polished floor. King Tahoe moved with deliberate grace through the grand strategy chamber, his silver robes flowing around him as each step echoed in the vast space. The chamber, empty save for his most trusted advisors, held at its center a massive holographic display of the galaxy, a masterpiece of engineering that could zoom from showing entire spiral arms down to individual planets with perfect clarity. His cybernetic eyes, glowing a soft blue, scanned the intricate display. These weren't mere cosmetic enhancements. They were the product of centuries of technological advancement, allowing him to process astronomical data at speeds no organic brain could match. The mechanical implants that replaced his right hand whirred almost imperceptibly as he manipulated the holographic controls. The display shifted and zoomed, spinning through stars and nebulae until it centered on a small solar system. There, orbiting an unremarkable yellow star, was a blue planet wrapped in swirling white clouds. Earth. Young-ho, the king's chief advisor, stood nearby with perfect stillness, his formal robes bearing the marks of his station. His natural eyes, in contrast to his king's cybernetic ones, showed concern as he watched his ruler examine the planet that had become the subject of so much recent discussion. "Show me the latest intelligence reports," King Tahoe commanded, his voice carrying the weight of authority earned through centuries of rule. Young-ho stepped forward and gestured, causing data streams to materialize in the air around Earth's hologram. "Our deep space monitoring stations have detected only primitive satellite technology, Your Majesty. Their vessels are confined to their own orbit, with occasional forays to their moon. They have no faster-than-light capability that we can detect." The king's expression remained neutral, but his cybernetic hand clenched slightly. "And yet they dare refuse our protection. Show me their exact response." Another gesture from Yambo brought up a recorded transmission. The voice of Earth's representative played through the chamber. "We appreciate the Stellar Empire's offer of protection and integration, but Earth and its people choose to remain independent. We wish to develop at our own pace and maintain our sovereignty." Silence filled the chamber as the recording ended. King Tahoe's cybernetic eyes flickered as he processed the implications. His empire spanned thousands of star systems, offering protection and technological advancement to countless civilizations. Rejection was unprecedented. "Their population?" the king asked, his voice carrying a dangerous edge. "Approximately 8 billion, Your Majesty. They are divided into numerous nation-states, though they maintain a unified space presence." King Tahoe zoomed the hologram closer, examining Earth's cities, its orbital installations, its modest fleet of exploration vessels. "Their technological level? Early space age, Your Majesty. They have mastered nuclear fission, basic AI systems, and preliminary quantum computing. Nothing that could possibly stand against even a fraction of our might." The king's mechanical hand waved through the hologram, causing it to ripple. "And they believe this level of development gives them the right to reject us." His voice carried no anger, only a cold certainty that made Yumbo take an involuntary step back. "Admiral Yunji," the king called out, his voice echoing through the chamber. From the shadows at the edge of the room, a figure stepped forward. Admiral Yunji moved with the fluid grace of someone who had spent centuries in space. Her battle armor, sleek and black with gold trim, wore the royal insignia of the stellar fleet. Unlike many in the Empire, she had chosen to remain fully organic, believing it gave her an edge in understanding the species they encountered. She stopped at the precise diplomatic distance from the king and bowed. "Your Majesty." King Tahoe turned to face her, his cybernetic eyes gleaming. "What is the current status of the royal fleet?" 300 warships stand ready, Your Majesty, each capable of reducing a continent to ash. Our newest quantum shields make us virtually invulnerable to any weapon these primitives might possess." The king nodded slowly, turning back to the hologram of Earth. Such a beautiful world. It would be a shame to damage it unnecessarily. He paused, studying the planet's swirling clouds. Take the royal fleet, Admiral. Show them the might of our empire. Show them the price of defiance. But he held up his mechanical hand. Keep destruction to a minimum. They will be part of the empire, after all, once they understand their place. Admiral Yunji bowed deeply. It shall be done, Your Majesty. Shall I offer them one final chance to submit peacefully? Yes, the king replied, his voice carrying the weight of countless conquered worlds. Offer them mercy. But if they refuse, his cybernetic hand closed into a fist, causing the hologram to distort. Show them that mercy has limits. As Admiral Yunji turned to leave, King Taeho spoke again. And Admiral, send updates directly to my neural interface. I wish to witness their submission personally. The Admiral bowed once more and strode from the chamber, her footsteps fading into silence. King Taeho continued to study the hologram, his cybernetic eyes reflecting the blue light of Earth's oceans. Young Ho watched his king carefully. Shall I prepare the integration protocols, Your Majesty? Yes, King Taeho replied, still focused on the hologram. But also prepare the reconstruction protocols. Something about their response troubles me. Such confidence from such a primitive world. He trailed off, his mechanical hand tapping thoughtfully against his throne. Still, the royal fleet has never failed us. Soon, Earth will be just another jewel in our crown, another civilization enlightened by our guidance. As the king spoke these words, the hologram continued to spin slowly, Earth's continents coming into view one by one, its people going about their lives, unaware that the most powerful fleet in the galaxy was about to darken their skies. Or were they? On the hidden command deck of Orbital Station Aurora, Captain Jinwoo sat perfectly still, his eyes fixed on the quantum radar display that filled the curved wall before him. The station, concealed within what appeared to be a simple communications satellite, had maintained its silent watch over Earth for the past decade. The display showed the usual pattern of space traffic, satellites, space stations, and the regular transport ships moving between Earth and the lunar colonies. Everything was normal, just as it had been for years. Until it wasn't. The quantum radar pinged, then pinged again. New signatures appeared near Jupiter, first a few, then dozens, then hundreds. Jinwoo's trained eyes counted them as they emerged from hyperspace. 100, 200, 300 ships in total. Each one massive, each one armed. Computer, verify readings, he commanded, his voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. Verified. 300 vessels of unknown configuration. Energy signatures consistent with advanced weapon systems. Size range, 2 to 20 kilometers in length. Jinwoo pressed his palm against the bioscanner on his command chair. This is Captain Jinwoo, authorization code Theta-97. Initiate emergency protocol Shadow. Across Earth's orbit, hidden sensors and defense platforms silently powered up. In underground bases and underwater facilities, crews rushed to their stations. The years of preparation were about to be tested. In the Global Defense Council's underground headquarters beneath Mount Hala, Director Mayang received the alert. She strode into the command center, her footsteps echoing off steel walls as officers and technicians scrambled to their stations. Status report, she commanded, taking her place at the central command platform. 300 alien vessels, Director. They've taken up position near Jupiter's orbit. Energy readings suggest they're charging weapon systems. Mayang's expression remained calm as she activated the worldwide alert system. Her voice, transmitted to every hidden military installation on and around Earth, was clear and determined. All defense grid stations, this is not a drill. First contact protocols are now superseded by Defense Protocol Omega. The response was immediate. Around the world, mountain ranges that had appeared solid on every map for centuries began to shift, revealing massive ion cannon arrays. Artificial islands that had been dismissed as ecological research stations transformed into launch platforms. From the ocean depths, submarines that had never appeared on any official record surfaced, their hulls opening to reveal advanced missile systems. In orbit, satellites that had posed as weather and communications platforms shed their disguises, revealing weapon systems that humanity had kept hidden for exactly this moment. The alien transmission cut through all Earth's communication channels, its translation perfect, its tone arrogant. Primitive beings of Earth, this is Admiral Yunji of the Royal Fleet. Submit to the Empire or face annihilation. Captain Jinwoo exchanged a glance with his bridge crew. They had trained for this, prepared for this, but the reality of first contact, hostile first contact, still sent chills down their spines. All stations report ready, his tactical officer announced. Quantum shields at full power, weapon systems charged. The lunar fleet is in position behind the moon. On her command platform, Director Mayang opened a secure channel to every military commander on Earth. Remember your training. Remember the simulations. We've prepared for this day for generations. They expect to find a primitive world, easy to conquer. Let's show them how wrong they are. The alien fleet moved closer, their massive ships casting shadows on Jupiter's surface. Admiral Yunji's voice came again. You have 10 of your Earth minutes to surrender. After that, we will demonstrate our power by destroying your moon base. Captain Jinwoo smiled slightly. They didn't even know about the real moon base, the one hidden beneath the surface. The one they thought they had detected was a decoy, designed specifically to draw fire away from Earth's actual defenses. Director, he called over the secure channel. Request permission to implement Strategy Phoenix. Granted, Mayang replied. All units prepare for synchronized response. Let them make the first move. Let them think they have the upper hand. In space, the alien fleet spread out in a classic attack formation. Their sensors swept Earth, detecting only what humanity wanted them to detect. A planet with basic space capability, scrambling to mount some kind of defense. But beneath the surface, in secret bases and hidden facilities, Earth's real defense force waited. Quantum computers calculated firing solutions. AI battle systems tracked every alien vessel. Pilots sat in advanced fighters that had never seen the light of day ready to launch. The minutes ticked by. In his command chair, Captain Jinwoo watched the alien fleet's movement patterns, noting their weaknesses, their blind spots. They were powerful, yes, but they were overconfident. Their formation had gaps that would prove fatal against Earth's hidden capabilities. 2 minutes until their deadline, his tactical officer announced. Director Mayang's voice came over the command channel. All units, final checks. Remember, let them fire first. Let them commit to their attack. Then, and only then, do we show them what humanity is truly capable of. The tension built as the seconds counted down. On Earth's surface, billions of people went about their daily lives, unaware of the battle about to unfold above their heads. The secret that humanity had kept for generations, that Earth was far more advanced than it appeared, was about to be revealed. Not to its own people, but to the aliens who had so gravely underestimated them. In orbit, Captain Jinwoo watched the final seconds tick away. The alien fleet's weapons were fully charged now, aimed at the decoy moon base. They were about to learn a costly lesson about making assumptions. 30 seconds, his tactical officer announced. Director Mayang's voice was steady. All units, stand by. Let them throw the first punch. Then we show them why you never underestimate Earth. The alien fleet moved into final attack position, their massive ships gleaming in the sunlight reflected off Jupiter's surface. They had no idea they were about to face not the primitive civilization they expected, but one that had been preparing for this moment for longer than they could imagine. The stage was set. The pieces were in place. Humanity's greatest secret was about to be revealed, and the galaxy would never be the same. The moment of truth had arrived. Director Mayang stood tall in the Global Defense Command Center, her eyes fixed on the tactical displays showing the alien fleet's attack formation. They had just fired their first salvo at the decoy moon base, exactly as predicted. Now, she commanded, her voice carrying across all Earth's defense networks. What happened next would be remembered in history as the Great Unveiling. Across Earth's surface, what appeared to be natural mountain ranges began to move. Massive sections of rock split apart, revealing gleaming ion cannon arrays that had been hidden for decades. The weapons rose on hydraulic lifts, their power cores humming to life as they locked onto their targets. In the Pacific Ocean, artificial islands that had been disguised as research stations transformed. Their surfaces parted like blooming flowers, launching platforms rising from the depths. Swarms of quantum-shielded fighters emerged, their advanced stealth systems making them nearly invisible to conventional sensors. From the dark side of the moon, humanity's true space fleet emerged from its long concealment. Hundreds of warships, their hulls covered in adaptive camouflage that had kept them hidden from prying eyes, moved into attack formation. These weren't the primitive vessels the aliens had detected. These were the product of generations of secret technological advancement. In her flagship above Earth, Admiral Yunji watched in growing horror as her sensors reported the impossible. The primitive planet she had been sent to conquer was revealing military technology that matched or exceeded that of the Stellar Empire. Impossible. Her voice wavered as she broadcast to her fleet. Their technology. Youngho's intelligence was wrong. All ships, ray shields, battle formations. But it was too late for new formations. Earth's forces had positioned themselves perfectly during their revelation, taking advantage of every weakness in the alien fleet's overconfident deployment. Captain Jinwoo stood on the bridge of the EDS Vigilant, Earth's most advanced warship. He allowed himself a small smile as he opened a channel to all frequencies, including the alien fleet's command network. "This is Earth," he announced, his voice clear and strong. "Here's our answer." The ion cannons fired first, their synchronized barrage lighting up the sky. Beams of concentrated energy struck the alien fleet's outer ships, their quantum frequencies precisely tuned to disrupt the enemy's shield harmonics. Ships that had been considered invincible found their defenses penetrated with surgical precision. From beneath the oceans, electromagnetic pulse weapons that had been disguised as deep-sea thermal vents activated. Waves of focused energy swept through space, scrambling the alien fleet's targeting systems and communication networks. Earth's fighters moved in perfect coordination, their AI-enhanced pilots executing maneuvers that the aliens had thought impossible for primitive humans. They slipped through the gaps in the enemy formation, striking at crucial systems with weapons that had been specifically designed for this moment. Admiral Yunji's tactical officer reported with panic in his voice, "We've lost contact with the outer defense ring. Their weapons, they're not reading as standard energy signatures. Our shields can't adapt." In the Global Defense Command, Director Mayang watched the battle unfold exactly as their simulations had predicted. "Launch the second wave," she ordered. "Show them exactly what they're dealing with." From hidden bases on Mars and several asteroids, more ships emerged. Automated defense platforms that had been disguised as space debris revealed their true nature, adding their firepower to the coordinated assault. Captain Jinwoo's voice came across the channels again. "Admiral Yunji, you came here expecting to find a primitive civilization. Instead, you found a planet that has spent generations preparing for this exact moment. Every probe you sent, every scan you made, we let you see exactly what we wanted you to see." The alien fleet tried to regroup, but Earth's forces had positioned themselves too well. Every attempted defensive formation was met with a precise counterattack. Every emergency maneuver found them facing weapons specifically designed to exploit their weaknesses. In the Stellar Empire's flagship, Admiral Yunji watched as her mighty fleet was systematically dismantled by the very primitives they had come to conquer. "How?" she demanded over the command channel. "How did you hide all this?" Director Mayam responded this time, her voice carrying a hint of satisfaction. "The same way we've hidden it from every other alien species that studied us over the centuries. By being patient, by letting you underestimate us, by waiting for the right moment to show our true capabilities. Earth's quantum-shielded fighters continued their precise attacks, their weapons finding weak points that the aliens hadn't even known existed in their own ship's designs. The ion cannons kept firing in synchronized patterns, each shot precisely calculated to cause maximum damage with minimum energy expenditure. The battle continued, but it wasn't really a battle anymore. It was a demonstration. Earth was showing the stellar empire, and any other watching civilizations, that humanity was far more than they had assumed. Each careful strike, each coordinated attack, revealed years of preparation and technological advancement that had been hidden beneath a carefully maintained facade of primitive development. In the command center, Director Mayan watched the tactical displays with calm satisfaction. Decades of preparation, generations of secrecy, all leading to this moment. The aliens had expected an easy conquest of a primitive world. Instead, they had walked into humanity's carefully prepared revelation of its true power. And in his ship, Captain Jinwoo prepared to deliver the final message, one that would change the galaxy's understanding of Earth forever. The time for hiding was over. The time for humanity to take its place among the stars had begun. The battle for Earth's moon began with a flash of light that outshone the stars. Earth's quantum-phase torpedoes streaked across space, their blue-white trails creating a web of destruction around Luna. The weapons moved in ways that defied conventional physics, phasing in and out of normal space before striking their targets. Admiral Yunji stood on her command bridge, watching in growing horror as the Royal Fleet's supposedly impenetrable shields failed against these strange weapons. Ship after ship reported critical damage as the quantum torpedoes passed through their defenses as if they weren't even there. "Status report," she demanded, her voice tight with tension. Her science officer, Young-ho, stared at his readings in disbelief. "They have gravitational manipulation technology," he shouted, his hands flying over the control panels. "The torpedoes are creating localized gravity wells. Our shields are useless against them." Through the chaos of battle, Major Hyunwoo led Earth's fighter squadrons in a deadly dance around the alien vessels. His fighter, sleek and black against the star-filled sky, moved with impossible precision. The AI co-pilot integrated with his neural interface, enhancing his natural reflexes far beyond normal human limits. "Alpha Squadron, form up," he commanded, his voice calm despite the intensity of combat. "Target their sensor arrays. Blind them first, then go for their weapon systems." The fighters moved in perfect formation, their engines leaving brief trails of blue fire as they wove between the massive alien ships. They were like hornets attacking elephants, but these hornets carried stings that could pierce even the strongest armor. Admiral Yunji watched the tactical display with growing desperation. Her mighty warships, each the size of a small city, couldn't target the nimble Earth fighters. Every time they tried to lock on, the human pilots would already be somewhere else, striking from unexpected angles. "Launch our interceptors," she ordered. "They can't outmaneuver everything." The Royal Fleet's fighter squadrons poured from their carrier ships, filling space with their own energy weapons, but they found themselves outclassed in every way. Earth's pilots, their reactions enhanced by advanced AI systems, seemed to know where every shot would be before it was fired. Major Hyunwoo rolled his fighter through an impossibly tight turn, avoiding a barrage of alien fire while simultaneously targeting a crucial power node on one of the larger ships. "Remember your training," he told his squadron. "They rely too much on their targeting computers. Use that against them." The space around the moon became a light show of weapons fire and explosions. Quantum torpedoes continued to strike the alien fleet, creating ripples in space itself as their gravitational effects distorted the very fabric of reality. Earth's fighters darted through the chaos like swift shadows, each strike precisely calculated for maximum effect. On her command ship, Admiral Yunji watched another of her vessels succumb to the human attacks. Its shields had failed against the quantum torpedoes, and the fighters had torn through its exposed systems with surgical precision. "How did we not know?" she demanded of Young-ho. How did they hide this level of technology? Young-ho shook his head, still trying to analyze the weapons being used against them. Their gravitational technology alone is centuries ahead of what we thought they had. These aren't primitive humans. They're master strategists who let us think they were primitive. Major Hyunwoo's voice crackled across all frequencies, a calculated show of technical superiority. Admiral Yoonji, your ships are built for fighting enemies who play by the same rules you do. We don't. Each of our weapons was designed specifically to counter your technology. The battle continued to rage around Luna's cratered surface. Earth's quantum torpedoes created strange distortions in space, bending the path of light itself as they sought their targets. The alien fleet's formation began to break apart as ships tried to find some way to defend against these unknown weapons. Major Hyunwoo led another attack run, his squadron moving through the chaos with practiced ease. Their fighters' adaptive camouflage systems made them nearly invisible until the moment they struck, adding to the aliens' confusion and fear. Target their flagship's primary shield generators, he commanded. Show them exactly what Earth's best can do. The fighters moved as one, their AI systems coordinating their attack down to the millisecond. Energy beams lanced out with perfect precision, striking exactly the right points to create a cascading system failure in the alien shield grid. Admiral Yoonji felt her ship shudder as the shields failed. Around her, the bridge crew worked frantically to restore their defenses, but Earth's weapons had been designed to prevent exactly that kind of recovery. The battle for Luna reached its peak as more quantum torpedoes phased through space toward their targets. The human fighters continued their relentless assault, systematically disabling ship after ship of the once proud royal fleet. In Earth's command center, Director Mayan watched the tactical displays with satisfaction. Years of preparation, generations of technological development in secret, all leading to this moment of revelation. The aliens had come expecting an easy conquest. Instead, they were learning just how dangerous it was to underestimate humanity. Major Hyunwoo and his squadron continued their deadly dance among the stars, their every movement a demonstration of humanity's true capabilities. The battle wasn't just a fight for survival. It was Earth's announcement to the galaxy that the age of hiding was over. The light show around Luna continued, a testament to humanity's emergence as a power that could no longer be ignored or underestimated. The age of pretending to be primitive was over. The time had come for Earth to take its place among the stars. The royal fleet's losses mounted as Earth's forces pressed their advantage. Admiral Yoonji stood on her command bridge, watching as decades of military doctrine proved useless against humanity's unexpected capabilities. Her hands gripped the tactical console as she made her decision. "Deploy the stellar lance," she commanded, her voice carrying an edge of desperation. The stellar lance was the Empire's ultimate weapon, kept secret from even their own allies, a weapon that could split planets in half. The remaining ships of the royal fleet moved into formation. Energy began to build between them, creating a web of power that would focus into a single devastating beam. The space around the ships warped as the weapon gathered strength. But something was wrong. Admiral Yoonji felt it before her sensors confirmed it. The energy readings were fluctuating, becoming unstable. "My Admiral," her weapons officer called out, "something is interfering with the lance's power synchronization." Before she could respond, space itself seemed to ripple. What had appeared to be a small rocky moon near Earth's orbit began to change. The surface shimmered and faded, revealing the true form of the EDS Defender, Captain Hyunwoo's flagship. It wasn't just a ship. It was a massive battle station that had been hiding in plain sight. The Defender's true form was breathtaking, nearly the size of Earth's real moon. Its surface bristled with weapon systems and defense arrays that made the Royal Fleet's armament look primitive in comparison. Sections of the station rotated and shifted, bringing its main weapons to bear. Captain Jinwoo's voice came across all channels, calm and confident. "I wouldn't complete that weapons charging sequence if I were you, Admiral. The energy backlash would destroy your remaining ships." On Earth's command center, Director Mayang watched the aliens' reaction to the Defender's revelation. "Did you really think we wouldn't notice your spy probes?" she transmitted to the Royal Fleet. "We've been preparing for this for decades. Every piece of technology you thought you saw us developing was exactly what we wanted you to see." Admiral Yunji stared at the massive battle station, her tactical training telling her what her pride didn't want to accept. The stellar lance, their greatest weapon, had been neutralized before it could even fire. Somehow, the humans had known about it, had prepared for it. The Defender's weapon systems came fully online, creating a web of targeting locks around the remaining alien ships. Each lock was precise, calculated to disable rather than destroy. This wasn't just a show of force. It was a demonstration of mercy from a position of absolute power. "Your stellar lance technology," Captain Jinwoo explained, his voice carrying no trace of arrogance, only certainty, relies on quantum synchronization between multiple ships. "We developed countermeasures for it 50 years ago, after detecting your first stealth probe. Around the Defender, more of Earth's hidden defenses revealed themselves. Satellites that had appeared to be space debris transformed into weapon platforms. Asteroids split open to reveal missile batteries. The entire solar system had been turned into one vast defensive network, all disguised as natural phenomena." Admiral Yunji watched her tactical display fill with new threats as more of Earth's true capabilities came to light. "How?" she asked, knowing her transmission would be heard by Earth's commanders. "How did you hide all of this?" Director Mayang's response was measured. "The same way you hide your most advanced technology from less developed worlds, Admiral. We showed you what we wanted you to see. Every primitive satellite, every basic space station, every simple defense system, all of it carefully crafted to make you underestimate us." The Defender's massive form moved slowly through space, its size and power now fully visible to the stunned alien fleet. Captain Jinwoo directed its positioning with practiced ease, placing it where it could protect Earth while still giving the Royal Fleet room to retreat. "Your Empire isn't the first to test us," he transmitted. "Every probe, every scan, every attempted infiltration. They all told us exactly what we needed to prepare for. The Stellar Lance was impressive technology 50 years ago, Admiral. Would you like to see what we've developed since then?" The Defender's main weapon array began to power up, creating distortions in spacetime that the alien sensors couldn't even properly measure. It wasn't meant to destroy. That wasn't Earth's way. It was meant to demonstrate just how outmatched the Royal Fleet truly was. Admiral Yunji watched as her remaining ships reported more systems failing, disabled by technologies she hadn't even known existed. The humans had turned their entire solar system into a trap, and the Royal Fleet had walked right into it. Director Mayang's voice came again. "We could have revealed ourselves at any time. Admiral, we could have struck first. Instead, we waited. We let you make the choice to attack. And now you see the consequences of that choice." The Defender's presence dominated space, its massive form a testament to humanity's true technological level. It wasn't just a battle station. It was a statement to the galaxy. Earth was done hiding. Captain Jinwoo's final transmission to the Royal Fleet carried both warning and promise. "You came to conquer what you thought was a primitive world, Admiral. Instead, you found a civilization that has spent generations preparing to defend not just itself, but any other world that might need protection from conquest. Remember that when you report back to your empire." The battle had become a teaching moment, a revelation that would change the galaxy's understanding of humanity forever. Earth had revealed itself not as a primitive world to be conquered, but as a guardian power that had been waiting for the right moment to emerge from its protective camouflage. The silence on the bridge of the Royal Fleet's flagship was heavy with defeat. Admiral Yunji stood at her command station, watching as the tactical displays showed her once mighty fleet crumbling before Earth's revealed power. Around her, her crew worked in stunned silence, their movements mechanical as they tried to save what systems they could. "How?" she whispered, her hands gripping the edge of her tactical display. "We were supposed to be invincible. The remaining ships of the Royal Fleet clustered together in a defensive formation, their hulls bearing the scars of Earth's advanced weapons. What had started as 300 of the Empire's finest vessels was now reduced to barely 30 damaged ships. Through the command channel came Captain Jinwoo's steady voice. "Your Empire isn't the first to try conquering Earth, Admiral. We learned from each attempt. Surrender now. Don't force us to destroy what remains of your fleet." Admiral Yunji looked at her defeated crew, seeing in their eyes the same disbelief she felt. The mighty Royal Fleet, pride of the Stellar Empire, had never known defeat. Until now. "Show me the damage reports," she commanded, her voice steady despite everything. Her first officer brought up the holographic display. Ship after ship showed critical damage. Weapons systems offline, shields failing, engines operating at minimal power. The humans' quantum phase torpedoes and gravitational weapons had torn through their defenses like paper. "Admiral." Her tactical officer spoke up. "The Earth forces are maintaining their position. They've surrounded us, but they're not pressing their advantage." Indeed, Earth's forces held position in a perfect sphere around the remaining Royal Fleet ships. The massive battle station that had been disguised as a moon loomed nearby, its weapon systems powered but not firing. The humans were giving them a chance to surrender with dignity. Through the forward viewport, Admiral Gunji could see Earth hanging in space, beautiful and deadly. Its surface now bristled with revealed weapon systems, mountain ranges transformed into fortress walls, oceans concealing vast military complexes. "Play back the battle recordings," she ordered. "I need to understand how they did this." A holographic display showed the battle from its beginning. She watched again as Earth's forces revealed themselves, their technological superiority obvious now that she knew what to look for. Every move they'd made had been calculated, precise, designed to disable rather than destroy. "Send to all remaining ships," she commanded. "Battle Analysis Priority 1." The data streamed between the surviving vessels of the Royal Fleet. Each ship's computer analyzed the humans' tactics, their weapons, their defenses. The results were undeniable. Earth wasn't just more advanced than they'd thought. Earth was more advanced than the Empire itself. Captain Jinwoo's voice came through again. "Your ship's analysis systems are impressive, Admiral. But they're working from incomplete data. What you're seeing isn't even our full capability." Admiral Yunji felt a chill at his words. "Explain," she demanded. "The weapons we've used against your fleet were designed decades ago, specifically to counter your technology. They're obsolete by our current standards. We used them because they were sufficient for the task, and because we prefer not to reveal our latest advancements unless necessary." On her tactical display, Admiral Yunji watched as more of Earth's defenses revealed themselves. Satellites transformed into weapon platforms. Asteroids opened to show missile batteries. The entire solar system was one vast fortress, and the Royal Fleet had walked right into it. She looked at her crew again, seeing the same realization in their eyes. This wasn't just a defeat, it was a revelation. Earth hadn't just beaten them, it had been capable of beating them for generations. "Your Empire's greatest mistake," Captain Jinwoo continued, "was assuming that a civilization that didn't openly display its power must be primitive. We learned long ago that true strength lies in knowing when not to show your capabilities." Admiral Yunji stood straight, her decision made. Pride and duty warred within her, but her responsibility to her crew won out. She wouldn't throw away their lives in a pointless last stand. "Open a channel to all ships," she commanded. "This is Admiral Yunji. The Royal Fleet." She paused, the words bitter in her mouth. "Surrenders to Earth's forces." The response was immediate. Earth's defensive sphere shifted, creating a clear path for the Royal Fleet's ships to assume a surrender position. Medical ships that had been hidden among Earth's forces moved forward, ready to assist any damaged vessels. "A wise decision, Admiral." Director Mayung's voice came through. "Your crew fought with honor. There's no shame in surrendering to a superior force. especially one that chose to disable rather than destroy. As the remaining Royal Fleet ships powered down their weapons, Admiral Yunji watched Earth's forces begin rescue operations with practiced efficiency. They had clearly prepared for this outcome as thoroughly as they had prepared for the battle itself. The mighty Royal Fleet, which had never known defeat in its centuries of existence, had finally met its match, not in a bloody battle of mutual destruction, but in a carefully orchestrated revelation of power that had been hidden in plain sight. Captain Jinwoo's final transmission carried both respect and warning. "Welcome to Earth, Admiral. We look forward to peaceful negotiations with your empire. And remember, what you've seen today was just a fraction of what we can do. Let that guide your empire's future decisions regarding Earth and its allies." The day of pretending to be primitive was over. Earth had revealed itself as a power to be reckoned with, and the galaxy would never be the same. The crystal walls of the palace shimmered as King Taeho stood before his command center, watching the final transmission from his royal fleet. His cybernetic eyes dimmed as the reality of the situation became clear. Admiral Yunji's defeated voice echoed through the chamber as she reported the fleet's surrender to Earth's forces. Around him, his advisors stood in stunned silence. The holographic displays showed the true extent of Earth's power. Vast arrays of advanced weapons, a solar system transformed into an impregnable fortress, and technology that surpassed even the Empire's finest achievements. "Your Majesty," Yungo spoke softly, "Earth's delegation requests permission to visit the palace for peace negotiations." King Taeho nodded slowly, his mechanical hand clenching and unclenching as he processed this new reality. "Prepare the Grand Hall," he commanded. "We will receive them with the respect they have earned." Days later, the Earth delegation arrived. Director Mayung and Captain Jinwoo led the group, their presence carrying the quiet confidence of those who had no need to prove their power. They'd brought with them data crystals containing evidence that made King Taho's cybernetic eyes widen in surprise. "These are records of previous invasion attempts," Director Mayung explained, her voice carrying no trace of accusation. "Each one carefully documented, each one thwarted, and each one kept secret to maintain our strategic advantage." The holographic displays filled with images of other alien fleets, other would-be conquerors, all defeated by Earth's hidden defenses. Some dated back centuries, showing that humanity had been preparing for this moment for generations. "Perhaps," Mayung suggested, her tone diplomatic but firm, "it's time for a trade alliance instead. Our civilizations could achieve so much more as partners than as adversaries." King Taeho studied the technological marvels Earth had revealed. Their quantum phase technology, their gravitational manipulation systems, their advanced AI networks, all far beyond what his empire had achieved. He saw now that his attempt at conquest had been based on a fundamental misunderstanding of Earth's true nature. "Indeed," he agreed, his cybernetic eyes glowing with renewed purpose. "Let us turn this moment of conflict into an opportunity for growth." The negotiations proceeded smoothly. Earth's representatives showed neither arrogance in their victory nor resentment for the attempted invasion. Instead, they approached the talks with a spirit of genuine cooperation, offering to share some of their advanced technology in exchange for peaceful relations. Admiral Yunji, who had witnessed Earth's power firsthand, was chosen as Earth's first ambassador to the Empire. Her experience during the battle had given her a unique perspective on humanity's capabilities and their approach to power. Captain Jinwoo and Director Mayung returned to Earth to continue their work protecting their world. The revelation of Earth's true technological level had changed the galaxy's balance of power, but they knew there would always be new threats to face. In the years that followed, the alliance between Earth and the Stellar Empire grew stronger. Their combined knowledge led to unprecedented advances in space exploration. New worlds were discovered, new technologies developed, and new understandings reached between different civilizations. The Crystal Palace itself underwent a transformation. King Taeho ordered the creation of a museum within its walls, dedicated to the day that changed everything. The exhibits showed how a supposedly primitive planet had outthought and outmaneuvered the mighty stellar empire, teaching a lesson about the dangers of underestimating others. Visitors to the museum could see holographic recreations of the battle, showing how Earth's forces had systematically dismantled the royal fleet. They could study the clever ways humanity had hidden its true capabilities, disguising advanced technology as natural phenomena. But perhaps most importantly, the museum stood as a testament to the power of choosing peace over conflict. The final exhibit showed not the defeat of the royal fleet, but the signing of the alliance treaty between Earth and the Empire. As the years passed, other civilizations learned from the Empire's experience. The galaxy became a place where appearances were less important than actions, where cooperation was valued over conquest. Earth's revelation of its true power had changed not just the balance of military might, but the very way civilizations interacted with each other. And in the Crystal Palace, King Tahoe would sometimes stand before the museum's displays, his cybernetic eyes reflecting the images of Earth's hidden power being revealed. The day that had seemed like his empire's greatest defeat had become the beginning of its greatest advancement. The lesson was clear to all who visited. True strength lies not in the power you display, but in the wisdom to know when to reveal it. Earth had taught the galaxy that lesson well, and the stars themselves seemed brighter for it.